it is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, what's happening? Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, November 21st, 2019. Means we only got 41 days left before we ring in the new year, before we bring in 2020. Only a couple days left before we get Thanksgiving break here, and only a few days after that, we will be lucky enough in our family to be welcoming our fourth little blessing into our world here. So we're going to talk about a cool topic this morning, guys. And I think it's one that we've probably covered in some way, shape, or form before, but I think that it is important enough and that it happens frequently enough for us to continue talking about it or add to it, but just give you guys some tools on how to deal with some of this stuff that happens to us in our lives. That's, just what I refer to in my circle as the noise, right? It's just the noise that goes on around us can really throw us off track. It can really, and by noise, I mean, negativity, some doubters, some, people that are just trying to stir up stuff. Some kind of negativity, doubt, anything like that, I consider noise. And so we're going to talk about today, the title of it is Block Out the Noise. And so if you guys saw, I put a post up, threw it on Instagram stories last night, but I threw it up on Facebook this morning. And I want to read that to you here in a second, but I want to say good morning to my people. Dean, what's happening? Darren, I hope you're staying warm out there, guys. And Lydia, good morning to you too, my friend. I appreciate you guys being on here. This will be one that a lot of people can benefit from. So if you could smash that share button for me, I would appreciate it, because a lot of people waste a lot of time dealing with the noise. And we're going to talk about why that doesn't make sense to do here in just a second. So I want to read you guys the post that I put up. If you guys haven't seen it, it's over on my Facebook wall. You can shoot over there and check it out when we're done. But it's a bunch of matches. And the left side of the matches are all burned because they're all connected to each other. And then one match has slid down a little bit, and the rest of the matches in that match never burned. And so it says, ever wonder what happens when you separate yourself from drama? And so here's what I wrote in the post. There will always be things around you trying to distract you from what you're doing. There will always be situations that arise in your life that you shouldn't get yourself involved in. And there will always be people in the world trying to light the flame of drama in your life. If you just simply separate yourself from those people and those situations, their flame has nothing to burn, and it just extinguishes. It is a conscious choice whether you allow yourself to catch fire or not. And I think, give me some hearts, give me some likes, drop me a comment if you guys feel yourselves getting involved in some of these types of things that you have no business being involved in, but you just tend to find yourself involved in them anyway. And we all do it, by the way. If I don't get any hearts, it's okay, because I know you guys are lying to me. But, at the end of the day, guys, how do you handle these types of things? How do you handle these people who are just trying to throw you off course? They're trying to throw a wrench in your wheel and just get you off of what you're really trying to do. What you're meant to do is be great in your life. You're meant to do things that impact other people in a positive fashion. And these people out there, when they see you starting to get ahead, or when they see what you are doing and the progress you are making. What's happened in Dayton, Justin Cole and Justin Myers, my two favorite Justins. Two of my favorite Justins, probably the top two, maybe. Any rate, they're just trying to catch you off guard and get you involved in some bullshit, right? And this is what happens, guys. It happens, and by the way, the more you connect with other people, the bigger influence you have in your life, the bigger things you start to do. My man Justin Cole, he starts to catch some momentum in his business, and the people come out of the woodwork trying to throw you off track. And that could be customers, it could be competitors, could be just random people out there trying to throw stuff in your direction that gets you off track. And let me tell you what happens when you buy into that, when you allow that flame to catch you on fire as well, and you buy into that drama. You respond to something that doesn't even deserve a response, and you start the process back and forth. Here's what happens. I want you guys to consciously think about this. This is something that inside of our company, we have had some of these conversations about just how much time it takes talking about these people that are trying to cause us problems. Or people that are just starting some drama, just starting to do the things that are completely unnecessary, that you get frustrated when you have the conversation. So here's the rule, guys. Here's what you need to do. When it gets to that point, you deal with that situation as fast as you possibly can, if it even needs to be dealt with. So if it's something inside your company that has to be dealt with, you deal with it as quickly as you can given the situation, and you move on. You set the ground rules of how you're supposed to operate with regard to your core values. You reference the core value that this person violated, and you get back to business. If this is in your personal life, here is my number one suggestion to you. Ignoring people that are trying to drag you down is completely acceptable. And I would highly recommend you doing it. Because if you don't fan the flame, guys, they get bored and they go away. They get bored and they move on to something else. Because the reality is that what they are trying to throw a wrench in for you isn't that big of a deal to them anyway. That's just kind of how they are. It's just how they're operating. And by the way, I don't always blame those people who are trying to stir up problems, because I don't have any idea what that person is going through in their life at that moment. I only know where I'm at. And if where I'm at allows me to dismiss this kind of thing, then I'm going to move on, and I'm not going to fan the flame of drama and catch myself on fire. And when you do that, guys, I want you to think about the hours of your life that will be converted from negative energy to positive energy. The hours of your life that you could call someone that you actually care about, instead of dealing with this nonsense that we constantly find ourselves getting engaged in. And I can't even tell you how many times I've done it myself in the past, or I see other people just getting tied up into it. I've had this exact conversation with a couple people who are on the stream right now. It is an absolute waste of your time, guys. And 95% of the time, if you let something like this just blow over, it will do just that. It will blow over, and you won't have to worry about it anymore, because nothing that they were saying really had a whole lot of validity or anything anyway. It was just something they decided to say in that moment to make themselves feel a little bit better. And so if you don't buy into that nonsense, you're not going to lower yourself down to that position, which already impacts your momentum in life, your place in life, where you're at in that particular moment. It impacts that. It It has no possibility to not do that if you buy into it. If you don't buy into it, it still might bother you. Anybody that tells you that this stuff doesn't bother them at all, it bothers everybody this much. The difference between champions and chumps is the amount of time that they spend thinking about it before they go back to doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that's the truth. Just how it works. And yeah, Justin, it's in a lot of different places, man. It's like if you guys have never heard the analogy of crabs in a barrel, if you put one crab in a barrel, that crab can crawl all the way out the side and get out of the barrel. But when you put 100 crabs in a barrel, the crabs can't get out. They don't have to put a lid on it or anything. Why is that? Because as one crab starts to crawl up the side of the barrel, all the other crabs are pulling it back in because they don't want it to get out. They don't want it to get away or higher than them. And when you think about that analogy in real life, guys, that is a lot of what happens. It's that people don't understand exactly what they're doing in that moment, or they don't put a lot of thought into it, or they're so frustrated in their own situation that they just need to get it off their chest. I read a post yesterday. There was a couple of these that came across my feed, and this is where this topic kind of came from. It said, if you have a problem with me, call me. If you don't have my phone number, you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me. Think about that one. That's pretty good, right? And this is what happens, guys. And I just want you to think about the amount of time that you guys spend when these things happen, and they happen all the time. And it doesn't matter if it's somebody talking about you or it's something that happens in life that's negative that you decide to get yourself involved in and you start talking about it. If you continue to talk about negative things that happen to others or that are going on in other people's lives or whatever the case is, you are one of these people. So you cannot participate in this stuff and not expect it to happen to you in your life at some point. So I want you guys to think about that, because I think we all do it to some degree. Nobody's immune to that. Nobody. People repeat things. People are shocked by things that happen. They repeat them, but just have control of that. Don't let it get out of hand to where, you become one of these people. You're a rumor person. You're a person that repeats things that they hear that they're not sure if they're true or not. If you're one of those people, you're going to have it happen to you. It's the energy that you're putting out into the world that's going to allow other people to talk about you just the same. If you don't buy into that, or you try to give people the benefit of the doubt, you try to say, I'm not sure why these people are being negative, it's probably just a bad place in their own life. And that's the truth. There are people, guys, that make up stories about me, fairly regularly, that I have black and white proof to counteract. But I'm not going to go spend my time arguing with people who aren't interested in the truth. And that's reality. I was told when I was a kid 1,000,000 times, you know what they call people that argue with idiots, right? Idiots. That's what they call them. Because you're arguing with a person who is not interested in the truth. If you are trying to leverage people who aren't interested in the truth and leverage them in your direction to get them to see your side of it, you're probably going to lose more times than you're going to win. And so what you're going to do by doing that, it's just going to frustrate you. I heard an analogy by a man named Jeffrey Chew Not sure if he will see this video or not, but he says, never try to teach a pig to sing because you won't be successful and you'll frustrate the pig. And that is kind of what you're dealing with. So as you buy into these things that are happening, that people are trying to push into your world, these are the things that you're trying to do. So I hope these things have been helpful this morning, guys. Block out the noise. I'm telling you, if you study successful people, and I could show you there's a lot of books over on that shelf over there, and I've read a lot of books from a lot of people, and a lot of them reference these times where people tried to drag them down, and how they handled it was to block out the noise and just continue moving forward. And that is exactly what I would recommend you guys do. Just recognize it for what it is. And remember this, guys, not everything requires or deserves a response. If you respond, that person's going to take your words and do whatever they want to do with it. If you don't respond, there's nothing they can do but try to get you involved again. And then you can deal with it the same exact way. You can choose to ignore it. You deal with it. You can, whatever the case is, but you do. Every single thing that is sent your way does not require a response. If it's ridiculous, just block it out and move on and get back to work and get back to your family and get back to the things that are really, truly important. And if you guys go check out that post, I'll drop the image in the comments here so that all you guys who have commented can see it. But it was a pretty eye-opening image for me, and so I wanted to share it and connect it to this topic because I thought to myself, man, how accurate is that? It is just incredibly clear when you look at that picture exactly what we do to ourselves when we get involved in these kinds of things. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you for all the comments. For those of you who shared this, I appreciate you. If you found value in it, please tag somebody that might need to hear this, and please share this out to your page so that we can reach more people. And I appreciate all you guys that are here every single morning with me at 7:30 a.m. It means a lot to me. We continue to get more and more downloads on all the podcast platforms, so iTunes, Spotify, all the others. But please share this out. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't yet. It's the Perspective Podcast. It's on all the platforms, so you guys can find it pretty much anywhere. If you type in the Perspective Podcast, Brian Hess, it'll pop right up. And you guys will be able to listen to these in the car. Every single episode that we do here is also available there. And if you guys are people that joined late, I think we're on episode 63 or 64. So if you can go back and listen from episode 1 all the way to now and get caught up on every single thing that we've talked about here for the last couple of months here in the morning at 7:30 a.m. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in from the bottom of my heart. I really do. And I appreciate the little community that we're building here. And I think that this community is going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger because people need more positivity in their life. They need more impact. They need more things that lift them up. And that's exactly what we're trying to do here. So I appreciate you guys once again. I love you guys. And I'll see you again tomorrow morning, same place, same time.